Okay, students, welcome. And in this module, I'm going to begin with Standard 11th. The name of the chapter is Set and Relationships. Okay, I hope that you are comfortable. And this topic that I'm going to explain in this module, it's very easy topic. It is very interesting topic. You have already studied about sets from your, I think it is in your 9th standard textbook. So it is really wonderful topic. So let us begin with this, and let's see what all you remember and what new things are you going to study. This is, let me tell you again, this topic I have taken for Standard 11th Science. Okay? Yes, Sets and Relations is the name of the chapter. Fine. Sets. It is, you must have studied about the sets. Just one line as an addition in your information that you all know. The concept of a set was developed by German mathematician Georg Cantor in 1845 till 1918. He was there, and he is the one who has developed this concept of set. Now what is it? Let us see it further. Set. So let us first understand the definition of a set. This you have already studied, but let us recall. I hope you recall, you remember. Yes, a collection of well-defined objects. Understand what is the meaning of well-defined objects. Well-defined. This word is very, very important. If this definition is asked and you have to tell about well-defined, if you miss this word, then the definition has got no meaning. Okay, and if you have to tell about well-defined, how will you tell? See, I'll give you an easy example. If I ask you to go and search a successful person in your city or in your area, a successful person, how will you define success? Yes, difficult? Actually, you can't define success. See, for me, if I do this project of reaching to each and every student, whomsoever wish to study this topic from me, then I'm successful, right? If I'm able to clear all the doubts of mathematics, say for class 11, whatever the topics are, right from the basic till its maximum limit of study syllabus, if I clear all these things, then I am a successful person, right? For you, suppose if you want to become an engineer and you become with great percentage, then you are successful. So, in short, what I want to tell you is that success is what you can't define, okay? But yes, if I ask you to find out people from your area whose height is 5'7", okay, so you might get number of peoples, maybe 10, 12, maybe 115, whatever, okay, but you will get a definite number, and you know that you can calculate the height that measures 5 inch or more than that, right? Yes. So 5.7, you can find people. It is a universally accepted number. Yes, 5 is called as 5, 7 is called as 7, and nothing else. And you can define that, which measures so and so inches. You can define that. So that is called as well-defined, whereas success is not called as well-defined. Okay. So set. What is set? Set is collection of well-defined objects. Okay, which you can count, which you can define, is called, all these objects are included in a set. It depends. For example, set of natural numbers. You all know natural numbers are starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. There are unlimited numbers, right? So, but yes, you can define numbers. They are well-defined objects. So, it is called a set of natural numbers, right? I hope this is clear to you, the definition, the meaning of well-defined. I hope that this is clear to you. So, let us proceed further. See, these are simple things that you need to remember about a set. See, we denote sets by capital letters like A, B, C, X, Y, and so on. Any alphabet you can take and you can denote your set, whichever set you want to write. We'll see how to write a set further, but you denote a set by capital letters, okay? Now, as I told that set contains well-defined objects, okay? And each object is separated by a comma in that set, okay? That object is called as an element of the set, okay? That one object is called as an element. So, there are how many elements in the set that you need to count depending upon what set you are writing, okay? Remember this. Third point, the elements of a set are represented by small letters. If you have to write in letters, then it is represented in small letters or then numbers, okay? Like A, B, C, D. Now, why here only letters are being told? Because, see, you are using letters, but if you are using letters to denote a set, then it is capital. And if you are using letters to denote elements of the set, then they are small caps, okay? Small letters, okay? Like A, B, C, X, Y, Z, and so on. Any alphabet you can take as an element, small alphabet as an element of the set. Now here, see, if X is an element of a set, if it is in the set A, then we write like this. See, X, this is the symbol for belongs to. This symbol represents belongs to. This symbol, okay, represents belongs to. Belongs to what? Set A, and is read as X belongs to A, okay, fine. Then next, if X is not an element of a set A, we write X, see this belong to sign is crossed like this, slash, okay. Then it is said as does not belongs to. It is read as X does not belongs to A, okay, fine. Now let us see representation of a set. How do you represent a set? Means how do you write a set? Now there are three ways of representing a set. First one, see, there are three methods of representing a set. First one, roster or tabular method or list method, okay. Second one is a set builder or rule method. Third one is a Venn diagram. I'll tell you one by one what is the meaning of these methods and how do we write it, okay. How do we write a set using these methods. So first we'll go to roster method. It is commonly known as roster method or tabular method or list method. So we'll first consider roster method. See, this is the question. B is the set of all days in a week. Now you have to write it in a list form. List means what? You write 1, 2, 3, 4 like this way you make a list, So you have to write it in the same way. But how do you represent? You represent like this. See, B is equal to curly brackets open. See this curly bracket, okay. This is the way you represent a set. I hope you remember this. You have studied in 9th standard. So this is the curly bracket. This is opening and this is curly bracket closed, okay. In this, I have just listed what I wanted to list it. Set of all days in a week. So a week contains Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So all these 7 days are being included in this set, okay. This way of writing a set is called as roster method or list method or tabular method, okay. Second one, C. C is the set of all vowels in English alphabet. What are vowels? Vowels A, E, I, O, U. Okay, so I just need to put them in a set. And how will I put each object? Separating with the help of a comma. Okay, so C is the set of C. C is the set of, see how am I reading? C is the set of all vowels in English, that is A, comma E, comma I, comma O, comma U. So each alphabet is separated. So this is the set C. Okay. Now see this. A is the set of all letters in the word aeroplane. So you just have to make a set consisting of all letters in the word aeroplane. Now see this. See this carefully. See, I am going to write a set A and I am going to include all these alphabets in the set. Okay. But am I sure that I am going to include all? No. See, there is one more point to remember, that alphabets or letters or objects do not repeat in a set. Their sequence doesn't matter. If you start from N or if you start from E and then end up with A, will do. Or if you start with A and then end up here with N or whatever alphabet, will do. Doesn't matter. The sequence doesn't matter. What matters is that the letters or the objects are not repeated. They are written only once. Okay. So how will I write this set? Set A will be consisting of A, E, C, E, R, O, P, L. I have not taken A. Why? Because I have already written. So it will not be repeated. Okay. So A is not written again. N and E is also not written. Why? Because it is repeated. So this set A is consisting of only these many letters from the word aeroplane. I hope you have understood this. Okay. See, take note of, do remember this once again. If the elements are repeated, they are written only once in a set. Okay. And second, while listing the elements of a set, the order in which the elements are listed is immaterial. This is given in your textbook. I have just written it for you all to recall and remember once again. I hope this is clear. Let us see the second way of writing a set, that is set builder method. Now what is set builder method? See, this is the question. Say Y is the set of Jan, Feb, March, April till December. What are these? These are the months of a year. Okay. So how are we going to represent? We are going to take help of small x. I know x always keep on disturbing all the mathematical people. Okay. So x is never going to leave you till you are with maths. Okay. So we are going to take help of that x to represent the months of a year. And how do we write? See, we are going to build a set with the information that has been given to us. See, how are we going to build? Y is the set of x such that x is a month of a year. Okay. This one sentence is just for, see, such that means what? This line, this slash line means such that. Okay. Such, after this line, whatever is given is only the information that you should understand for what you are going to write in the place of x. Okay. So when if you get like this question, suppose this question is you get and you just have to write it in this form, list form, that is roster form. Okay. This is the set builder method. This is set builder form and you have to write it in this form. So you write it like this. Jan, Feb, March, April. You don't write like this. This one, X is the month of a year. This you don't write where? In the list form. Okay. But when you are writing for set builder method, you just have to write after this slash. You have taken X, after this slash, that is such that X is the month of a year. Okay. Do remember this. Let us see second example. See, V is equal to, or V is the set of 1, 4, 9, 16, 25 and so on. What do I understand from this? See, 4 is the square of 2. 3 is the square, 9 is the square of 3. 16 is the square of 4 and 25 is the square of 5. Means what? See, 1 square is 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Square of these numbers are being taken. Okay, and what do I understand? This 1, 2, 3, 4 belongs to the set of natural numbers. So what do I take? I take x. X that belongs to natural numbers, but it is square of all these natural numbers. Okay, so how do I write? V is the set of x such that x belongs to natural numbers and x is a square. Okay, or one more way you can write it down. V is the set of all x squares such that x belongs to natural numbers. Okay, this is also the way of writing set builder form of a set. Okay, fine. Let us see the third one, that is Venn diagram. Okay, what is Venn diagram? It is the diagram representation of a set. Okay, like for example, these are the examples given in your textbooks, and it is very easy. Just see that, say A is the set of all these numbers 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what they have done is they have taken this oval shape as the representation of the set A, and these are the elements of this set. Same way for B, A, B, C, D, E, F. See, A, B, C, D, E, F are been represented in this. This is the B set. And see, 4, 5, 6 is represented in a triangle. You can take any shape. Venn diagram doesn't restrict you from taking any closed shape. Okay, closed shape. So you can take any oval, triangle, square, rhombus, parallelogram, trapezium, any triangle, anything. Okay, and you can represent your set. Fine, this is clear. Number of elements of a set. See, I have already told you that objects in the set are called elements. Now, how do we write it down, or how do we say that, yes, these many number of elements are there in this set? So, the number of distinct elements contained in a finite set A is denoted by n in bracket A. This means number of elements in A set. Okay, this is read as number of elements in A set. See, your word has come, finite set. Finite set means not like natural numbers which goes on and on and on. The numbers are just increasing. Not like that. Suppose if I ask you, I want set A of natural numbers till 12. So how many numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4 like this way? Till 12. So 12. So what will be the number of elements of that set? 12. Okay, fine. See, thus, if A is consisting this 5, 2, 3, 4, then number of elements in A are 4. These are 4 elements, no? So 4. So n of A, that is number of elements of A, is also called the cardinality of set A. Okay, this is just a different word used, cardinality of set A. Now, the next topic, very important. You must be having a question that why ma'am is explaining in detail so little things when the chapter is so easy. Understand, when it is easy, you tend to do mistakes. 3 into 3 is 6. This is the mistake done by every child where he thinks that it is very easy. Okay? 3 into 3 is 9, but children tend to write 6. Okay, and unless and until you understand each point, each detail of a easiest thing, you won't be able to score marks. Why? Because of the silly mistakes that you do in between, you lose your marks. Okay, so I don't want you to lose marks. Neither I want you to study only for marks, but to get your concepts clear, it is very essential that you understand each and every point. So let us proceed further to understand the types of sets. Okay, there are 11 types of sets you need to understand, out of which few types you have already studied in your 9th standard. Okay, so let us understand the first one, empty set. By now you must have guessed what is empty set? The set which is having no element, right? Yes, the set which is having no element or nothing is there in that set included. Okay, See, a set containing no elements is called as empty set, or it is also called as null set, and is obtained by the symbol type equation here. That this is phi symbol, okay, phi. This symbol is called as phi. For empty set it is written, or it is just the curly brackets open and closed without any object in it, or it is also called as void set. Okay, just remember the questions may be asked using these different words for it. Example, see, A is the set of all such x such that x belongs to natural numbers and x lies in between 1 and 2. See, there are many numbers between 1 and 2, but they are not natural numbers. Natural numbers are what? 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So there are no numbers between 1 and 2. So it becomes empty set. Therefore it is just curly brackets, okay? So what will be number of elements in this kind of a set? 0. Okay, fine. Let us proceed further. Singleton set. What is singleton set? Singleton set is the set containing only one element. Okay, means it has got only one object or one element. For example, let A be a set of all integers which are neither positive nor negative. So which is that integer which is neither positive nor negative? How do you, if someone asks you, what are the elements of integer set? So you say all the positive numbers, all the negative numbers and 0. You say like this, and 0. Yes, why? 0 doesn't have any sign. It is not positive, it is not negative. It is just 0. So this set will consist what? A is the set containing only 0. So what are the number of elements in A? 1. 1 means it is a singleton set. Okay. Finite set. What is finite set? As I was explaining in the previous slide, yes, it has got some limit. Limited number of elements are included in the finite set. So let us see. The empty set or set which contains finite number of objects is called a finite set. Understand this, empty set. Empty set is also a finite set. Okay? Remember this, it is a finite set, and the set which contains finite number of objects is called finite set. So let us see this. Example, set of letters in the word beautiful. So how do you write? B-E-A-U-T-I-F, U is repeated, so not written again, L. Right? So these are finite. There are only 7 elements in this set. So number of elements in A are 7. It is finite set. Okay. So A is a finite set. Let us see the next one. Infinite set. What is infinite? Which is not finite. Okay. It goes on and on and on. There is no end. Okay. So a set which is not finite is called infinite set. Example, set of natural numbers, set of rational numbers, real numbers, whole numbers, all these kinds of sets are infinite set. Okay, note. An empty set is a finite set. This you need to remember. Then natural number set or integers set of all points on a circle. Can you count the points that are included on the circle? No. Infinite points, okay, are infinite sets. Okay, yes. Now let us see the next set, that is subset. Listen carefully. This is very important. Subset. Okay, see here. A set A is supposed to be subset of set B if every element of A is also an element of B. Every element of A, element of A is also element of B. and we write A is subset of B. See, this is the symbol for subset. I hope you remember. If not, just remember here now. This is the symbol for subset. So now A is subset of B. Okay? Every element of A is element of B. Okay? Yes. Note, phi is subset of every set. Empty set is the subset of every set. Okay? This you always have to remember. Then A is always subset of A, means each set is a subset of itself. Okay? So every set is a subset of itself. Fine. Let us see this superset. What is called a superset? See, if A is subset of B, then B is called a superset of A, and we write B is superset of A. Just in a reverse manner for this, but it represents differently. This is subset, this is superset. B is superset of A. Why? So because A's every element are the elements of B set also. But it is not the same for B. B's every element is not set of A. Understood? Yes. So please keep this in your mind. A is subset of B, and B here B is superset of A. Next one, proper subset. What is proper subset? See, a non-empty set A is said to be a proper subset of the set B, and at least one element of B is not in A. Are you getting? See, what is said? First thing is it should be non-empty. Okay, non-empty. Now if there is a set A whose elements are also in set B, but B is containing at least one such element which is not in A, then it is called as proper subset. A is proper subset of B. See here, if A is subset of B and A is not equal to B, then A is called a proper subset of B, and we write, I think I have missed out a symbol here. See, I'll draw it. It should be only like this. Okay, you write like this. A is proper subset of B. Writing takes time, that's why I have prepared presentation. Like this way you write, okay? A is proper subset of B. I hope you remember this and you will forgive my mistake over here. Let's proceed further. See, let us understand with the help of an example. Let A be the set consisting 1, 2 and 5 as its elements, and B be the set containing 1, 3, 5 and 7 as its elements. Okay, understood? Elements? Fine. Now then, every element of A is an element of B. Correct? See, 1 is there, 1 is there. Fine. Then 2 is not there, 5 is there, 5 is there. Okay, but still A is not equal to B. Okay, therefore A is proper subset of B. That is, A is a proper subset of B. This is the symbol I told you. Understood? See, remark, if there exists even a single element in A which is not in B, then A is not a subset of B. I think I have taken example little something typing mistake has been there here. See, I'll just clear it off here and here itself so that there is no confusion. I will cancel this 2. This 2. Don't consider this 2. So what are the elements of A? It is only 1 and 5. See, the definition says that every element of A is an element of B. So 1 is there, 5 is there in B. Okay, But A is not equal to B. Why? Because B consists 3 and 7, which is not there in A. Therefore, we say that A is proper subset of B. Okay? Remark. See, if there exists even a single element in A which is not in B, then A is not a subset of B. So, if I would have included 2 which is not there in B, then here I was wrong. That A is proper subset of B. But now, if I cancel this 2, and if you consider only 1 and 5, then now I can write that yes, A is the proper subset of B. But if I include this 2, then A is not a proper subset of B. I hope this is clear to you. Let us proceed further and understand the next topic. Power set. What is power set? Okay, see. The set of all subsets of a given set A is called the power set of A and is denoted by P of A. Thus, every element of power set A is a set. Okay, let us see with the help of an example. See, the set of all subsets of a given set, a set having some subsets, is called the power set of set A and is denoted by P of A. Thus, every element of power set A is a set. See, let us consider, I'll explain with the help of an example that will be easy. See, consider the set A which is consisting A and B. Now, let us write all the subsets of set A. We know that 5 is a subset of every this thing, okay? I think there is some typing mistakes here. Elements should be written in small letters, right? So I'll just make a set. This is consisting of A and small b. Okay, this is the set. Consider this as a set. Okay, not this. Fine. So A is the set containing small a and small b. Now let us write all subsets of set A. We know that phi is a subset of every set. So phi is a subset of A. Okay. Also, see, if I take only A, one element, this is one subset, this is another subset, and AB, a set is always subset of itself. So AB is another. So how many total? See, phi is 1, A is 1, B is 1, and AB is 1. These are all the subsets of A, this set A. Thus, the set A has in all 4 subsets. VIZ A, this is phi, A, B, and AB. Right? Okay. So I hope this is clear to you. And power of A. Okay, this is power of A will be the set consisting all the subsets. I hope this is clear. Power set. Okay, power set is nothing but sets of all the subsets of that particular set. Okay, fine. Let us see equal set. When we say that the sets are equal, 2 sets are said to be equal if they contain the same elements. That is, if A is subset of B and B is subset of A. Means both the sets are having same elements. Example, X be the set of letters in the word A, B, B, A. What it will be? A, B. And Y is the set of letters in the word Baba. So what it will be? BA or AB, whatever. Okay. So only 2 letters. X is, this one is AB. Letters are not repeated. So only written once AB. And here BA. But they are having same elements. So they are called as equal sets and they are denoted by X equals to Y. Next, equivalent sets. difference is there. Equal sets and equivalent sets. Okay, do remember. Two finite sets A and B are said to be equivalents if number of elements of A is equal to number of elements of B, irrespective of what are the elements in the sets. See, if I take this example, A consisting of DOME and set B consisting of RACK, then number of elements in A are 4, number of elements in B are 4, they are both equal, they are called equivalent sets. Doesn't matter what elements do they have. So A and B are equivalent sets. Now universal sets. What is universal set? Set of all sets. Joking. This is not the way you are going to write the answer. But yes, for understanding you can say it like this, that it is the set of all sets. Okay. Means if in a particular discussion all sets under consideration are subsets of a set, say U, then U is called the universal set of that discussion. Means what? Means all the sets are subset of this bigger set, then it is called as universal set. Okay? The set of natural numbers n, the set of integers z, and are subsets of real numbers r. Thus, in this case, r is the universal set. It keeps on changing. It depends. Okay, what example are you taking? It depends on that. For in this case, it is just for an explanation. It is given that natural numbers sets and integers set are the subsets of real numbers. So, real number becomes the universal set. Okay. In general, universal set is denoted by U or capital U or capital X. Next topic. I hope it is not too much for you all, but this is very important for you all to understand. Okay. So, if you feel that it is too much, you can always pause the video and then you can continue to understand the next topic. I will continue to explain. Operations on sets. What all we can do it. Okay, maths is all on operations, 4 operations. Which are the 4 operations? Addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So maths deal with this. So same way here also we are going to study operations on sets. First one, complement of a set. Now what is the complement of a set? Understand. The complement of a set A is denoted by A dash, actually it is dash here, or A raised to C. Okay, it is denoted like that. So it is defined as, say, suppose if I take A is the set of all such X such that X belongs to universal set and X doesn't belong to A. Okay, means what? It is the set of all elements in U which are not in A. Example, suppose if I take U as a set consisting of elements say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and A is the set containing 1, 3 and 5. Okay, A is the set containing 1, 3 and 5. And U is the set containing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what will be A complement? A complement will consist of all those elements which are there in U set, but they should not be in A set. A is having what? 1. So I will not take 1. Okay. U is having 2 and A is not having 2. So what I will take? 2. Then I will take 4. Because it is there in U but it is not there in A. A is having what? 1, 3, 5. And U is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 and 4 are not there. So A complement will be the set having only 2 and 4. Understood? If not, let us see this further with the help of an example. See, let X, I have denoted by capital X, is the universal set having 0 to 8 numbers. Be the universal set and A is having these numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, all even numbers. So now I need to write A complement. See, understand with the help of a Venn diagram. This is set A. consisting 2, 4, 6, 8. This is universal set consisting of 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now what will be A complement? I just have to exclude these numbers and include these numbers which are there in the universal set. What are they? 0, 1, 3, 5, 7 is my A complement. Understood? Fine. So A complement will be consisting of 0, 1, 3, 5, 7 which are not there in A. These numbers are not there in A. These elements are not there in A. These elements are there in A complement. From where? From the universal set. Okay? Yes. Now let us understand the properties of this. Very important. A complement and its complement will be what? Again A. How? Let us see with the help of an example. Suppose this is U 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and A is 2, 4, 6, 8. What will be A complement? Just now we have written. A complement will be 0, then 1, then I will not include 2. I will include 3. So 0, 1, 3, 4 I will not take. 5, 6 is not there. 7. So 0, 1, 3, 5, 7. Right? This is A complement. Now complement of A complement. Complement of A complement. Now I will not consider this. Now I will consider only this. And with respect to the universal set. So I will not include 0. I will not include 1. What I will include? 2. 3 I will not include. I will include 4. 5 no. 6. 7 no. 8. So what do I have? 2, 4, 6, 8. And what is it? It is nothing but A. So what is the meaning? A complement and its complement is again the set A. Okay? I hope this is clear. Then complement of an empty set will be the universal set. You just have to remember this. Okay? There is no explanation as such. You can derive this that complement of an empty set must be the universal set. And what will be complement of universal set? Should be empty set. Okay, that is fine. Fine. Now let us see the second operation on set, that is union of sets. What is union of sets? Okay. The union of two sets A and B is the set of all elements which are in A or in B and is denoted by A union B. This is how it is denoted, okay? Just understand, all the elements that are there in A as well as in B are included in the union set, A union B set. Example, okay, first let us see, thus A union B is the set of all such X such that A belongs to A or A belongs to B. Means it can be in both A as well as B, okay? So let us understand with the help of an example. A is the set of all such X where X is the prime number less than 10. And B is the set of all such X where X belongs to natural numbers and X is the factor of 8. Find A union B. So first let us write down this. This is the set builder form. Let us write down in the listed form. We have A set. We will write in the list form such a way. See, is the prime number less than 10. Prime numbers are 2, 3, 5 and 7. Below 10, okay? Then B, factors of 8. Factors of 8. What are the factors of 8? 1, 2, 4 and 8. Okay? So this is set A, this is set B. Now you need to write what? A union B. A union B will be what? Consisting of all the elements from A as well as B. So let us see, write down 1, then 2, I'll write only once, okay? 2, then 3, 4, 5, then 7 and 8. All these elements will be there. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 and 8. All the elements from A and all the elements from B. But only they are not repeated. Understood? This is called as union of sets. Let us see the properties that are related to union. Okay, see, commutative property. Now what is this property? Commutative. If you say that A union B, this set should be equal to B union A. Okay, because I have already told you that it doesn't matter how you write the elements of the set, whether you do A union B or B union. See, like in addition, if 2 plus 3 or 3 plus 2, your answer is going to be 5, right? So same is here. If you do A union B or B union A, it is one and the same. Let us see with the help of an example for more understanding. Suppose this is set A consisting of 2, 3, 5, 7. B consisting of 1, 2, 4, 8. C consisting of 4, 6, 10. And U is the universal set consisting from numbers 1 to 10. So let us verify this commutative property, whether it is true. Yes. So first we'll take A union B. A union B. So what are the set? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 and 8, right? This will be the set. Let us mark it as 1. Now what do we want? B union A. Let us see this. B union A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 and 8. Same way, this is 2. So from 1 and 2, what can you say? Property is verified. This is called as commutative property. Okay. Let us see associative property. What does it say? Suppose if you do A union B union C is equal to A union B union C. See, brackets are there. The rules are same here. First you need to solve bracket and then outside the bracket. Okay. So let us see this with the help of example. I will take the same example set A, B, C and U. And let us verify that first. So first, what do you want? First is this side, A union B union C. So first I'll take A union B first. Okay. What is A union B I got? By now you must have learned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. This is A union B. What is C set given to us? This is 4, 6, 10. This is given to us. Now this set, A union B union C will be what? Now I'll consider this. It will be 1, 2, 3, 4 is there, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 10. Okay. So all these elements included in this set, included in this set. This becomes union of this. A union B union C. Let us mark this as 1. The next one is A union B union C. So first I'll do what? B union C. Let us see this. B union C. What it will be? 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. Now what is the A set given to us? 2, 3, 5, 7. Now A union B union C. We'll do this. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 10. Let this be 2. What do we see from 1 and 2? They are same. Hence, this associative property is verified. Okay. So this is true. Let us see the next one, that is identity for union. What does this mean? See, A union empty set is always going to be A. Naturally, because empty set doesn't contain any element, but A set contain. So A is suppose 2, 3, 5, 7 and this is empty set. I'll include all. This becomes 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay. So this identity is true. This is equal to A. Next is idempotent law. What does this mean? See, A union A is always A. Addition like 2 plus 2. Like this, what you do is now what you get the answer, whether you do it in any way. So union with a set, with it itself is going to be the set itself, right? Fifth one, A union A complement is universal set. Correct. See, example, suppose if I take A is 2, 3, 5, 7 and this is my universal set. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, what will be A complement? All the elements that are there in universal set, but they should not be from set A. So I'll include 1, then 4, then 6, then 8, 9 and 10. Fine, this is my A complement. Now A union A complement means what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What is it? It is equal to universal set. So this property is also true. Remember this. Okay. Now let us see the next one, that if A is proper subset of B, then A union B is always B. Proper subset. Proper subset means what I said, that A should consist all its elements equal to B. Okay? But B should have at least one element which is not there in A. Okay? See, for example, if A is like this, 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay? And B is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, A union B is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All the elements of A are included, all the elements of B are included. Finally, this becomes set B. Okay? Why? Because A is proper subset of B. Okay. Let us see this. Universal set union with A is universal set. Why? Because A is proper subset of universal set. Right? So, let us understand with the help of an example. 2, 3, 5, 7 are included in universal set, and therefore, finally, if you take the union, it becomes universal set. Eighth property, if A is proper subset of A union B, then B is proper subset of A union B. Okay, example. If A is like this, 2, 3, 5, 7, and B is 1, 2, 4, 8. See now, A union B. What is A union B? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Now what happens here is A becomes proper subset of A union B. Right? Why? Because 2 is there, 3 is there, 5 is there, 7 is there. But 1 and all those numbers are not there. So A becomes proper subset of A union B. Same way, here B becomes proper subset of A union B. Okay, so this is true. Now let us see the next operation on the set, that is intersection of set. What is intersection of set? See, the intersection of two sets A and B is the set of all elements which are both in A and B and is denoted by A intersection B. Means the common elements of A and B. Okay, means it should be in A as well as it should be in B. Not like union. Union means it should be there in A or in B. But here it is intersection means A and B. Okay. So thus A intersection B will be all such X such that X belongs to A as well as X belongs to B. Let us see with the help of an example. A is this 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now intersection. You have to find intersection. What will be intersection? As I said, common. So 1 is there, common, 1. Then 3, 5 and 7. Okay. So this becomes the A intersection B set. Now let us understand the properties of it. Again, commutative property. Commutative property means what? A intersection B is equal to B intersection A. Let us understand with the help of an example. Suppose this is A, B, C universal sets given to us. Let us verify this. A intersection B. See A intersection B. What it will be? 2 and nothing else. Right? So it is a singleton set. Now let us see B intersection A. What it will be B intersection A? Same, 2. So what can we say? That they are equal. Let us see the next property, that is associative property. Suppose if I take A intersection B intersection C is equal to A intersection B intersection C. So let us verify this with the help of an example. Same example same sets I have taken here. Let us verify. So A intersection B intersection C. First I will take the bracket one, that is A intersection B. What is A intersection B here? It is 1, 2 and 4 common terms. Okay. Now verify this with the help of an example. What is the C set given to us? 2, 4, 6, 10. Okay. So what is now A intersection B intersection C? What is there? 2 and 4. Right? Okay, let us mark this as 1. Let us see the next side, that is the right hand side. A intersection B intersection C. So first I'll take B intersection C. What is B intersection C? Common is 2, 4. Right? 2 and 4. Now what is A set given to us is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Now A intersection B intersection C. What is common? 2 and 4. Right? Let us mark this as 2. What do we see from 1 and 2? That they are equal. Hence, we have verified this property. Okay? Let us see next property. Empty set intersection with any set is an empty set because you will not find any common terms in the empty set with any set. Okay? Fine. Then A intersection A is always A. This is understood. That is called as idempotent law. This is understood. Then if A is proper subset of B, then A intersection B is A. Okay, because A is proper subset means A's element should be there in B. Right? Suppose this is A, 2, 3, 5. This is B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Let us verify. A intersection B is what? Common terms, 2, 3, 5. And this is nothing but set A. Okay? Next one. Universal set intersection with A is always A. Because all the common terms, now common terms must be all the A terms only, all the A elements only. So this is understood. This is identity for intersection. Let us see this with the help of an example. A is 2, 3, 5, 7. Universal set, numbers up to 10. Let us verify universal set intersection with A. The common terms 2, 3, 5 and 7. This is nothing but set A. Okay? Fine. Let us see this next one. A intersection B is proper subset of A and A intersection B is proper subset of B2. How? Let us see with the help of this example. Okay, this is A set, this is B set. Let us verify A intersection B. What do you get? 2, 3, 5. Okay. Now, this becomes proper subset of A because all the elements of this set are in set A plus it is having one extra element which is not there in this set. So this set, intersection set becomes the proper subset of A as well as this becomes the proper subset of B. Understood? Fine. Now let us understand distributive property. In this there is one more. This is very important because after this you will require this capacity. Now you are developing to solve intersection and union. This you will require further to prove De Morgan's law. We'll see that afterwards, but understand this. Okay, distributive property. See this. A intersection with B union C is equal to A intersection with B union A intersection with C. Okay, let us verify this. These are the sets A, B and C. Okay, now let us verify. First we'll take A intersection, this left hand side will take B intersection C. Let us first consider the bracket, that is B union C. Sorry, this here it should be typing mistakes. I have done a lot of typing mistakes. Here it should be union. Okay, okay. Do not consider this intersection. Consider union. Okay. So let us consider this first union. Union will be what? All the elements from A or B. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 5, 7, 8. Sorry. I am considering B union C. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 10. Okay, fine. This is B union C. B union C. Now let us see this. A intersection. Here it should be intersection. A intersection with B union C. Intersection means what? Now only the common numbers, common elements, okay, between A and this. What are the commons? 2, 3, 5, 7. Fine. Let us mark this as 1. Let us see the next one. A intersection B union A intersection C. So first I'll consider A intersection B. What is A intersection B? A intersection B. 2, 3 and 5. Okay, 2, 3 and 5. Now I'll consider A intersection C. A intersection with C. 2, then 7. Fine. 2 and 7. Now, this two sets union. A intersection B union with A intersection C. What are all the elements now? 2, 3, 5, 7. Let us mark this as 2. See, union and intersection. Remember this. So from 1 and 2, what do we say? That we have verified. Yes, we have verified this distributive property. Right? Let us proceed further. One more type is there. See, A union with B intersection C is equal to A union with B intersection A union with C. Let us verify. Let us take this example again. Let us verify first A union B intersection C. So first I'll take the bracket. B intersection C. So what do I get? 2 intersection means all the common elements. 2, 4 and 8. Right? Fine. Now what is the A set given? 2, 3, 5, 7. And union with this. So all the elements 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Okay. Let us mark this 1. Next is this side, right hand side. So I'll first consider A union B, first bracket. So A union B, all the terms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Fine, this is A union B. Next is A union C. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Okay, this is A union C. Now intersection of these two sets. So means common terms, that is 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Let us mark this as 2. So from 1 and 2, yes, we have again verified the property. I hope this is clear. How do you go about with union and intersection? So here I end up with my module. I will catch you in my next module explaining you De Morgan's law and then further. I hope you enjoyed watching this. If you like it, please give up a thumbs up, subscribe my channel and keep learning. Bye.